Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi,
Welcome
guys.
to Trail Talk. Boy, have we got a great episode
Things you
planned
ain't
for
never
you.
heard of. You will probably never ever hear these things out of our mouth
Right.
ever again.
Right, but I mean, seriously, Mary,
What'd I do?
no, I don't think you think.
I was like, what?
We've been going a little bit too deep on the squirrel dive, so we're gonna back up a little bit, but seriously, I have seen so many squirrels this year.
Yes, they're everywhere. We had an infestation, not an infestation, but we
Well,
had a family take residence up here.
Yeah, for real.
Rent-free.
I mean, we had squirrels living here, reproducing. There was like
A family of
babies.
6, wasn't it?
I don't even, I don't know. But anyway, we were able to, with assistance, get them removed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had squirrels that, I mean,
They had no fear either.
there'd be students here and they decide they wanted to go shop in the gift shop. They were,
Yep.
I mean,
Ran across my feet.
yeah, it was a crazy time around here.
We were
So
being overtaken by squirrels.
we were literally. So anyway, squirrels in Oklahoma, it just
We're
kind
not
of,
talking about eating.
it just kind of happened, right? We're talking about the rodent.
right.
The
fuzzy
actual,
tail.
yeah, the actual
Yes.
animal. So I didn't realize that there were different species
I didn't
who
either.
lived here.
Reading this, I was like, a black squirrel. I've never seen.
I
fur
know.
That's black on a squirrel. They're always using that.
Have
mossy
you ever
brown
seen a
color.
white one?
No.
So at OU and at UNT, there are,
Like
there's an
albinos?
albino squirrel on each of those
Do
campuses.
they have red eyes too, or just the white fur?
I can't remember that. Maybe they're, it's not albinism. Maybe it's like the
Gene?
hawk, the red-tailed hawk that was
Oh,
here.
uh-huh.
Maybe it's the,
I'm missing a chromosome or a gene.
yeah, something. Anyway, whatever. These white squirrels and these squirrels on these college campuses, they are accustomed to being fed, and they come right up to those
I'm sure they
kids.
think they're cream of the crop.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you back up, I'll cross it over.
Oh yeah, they are super friendly. But the white ones, I mean, are
Well,
kind
they
of
probably are pretty.
They, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not
they
something
are.
like you see every
So
day.
first off, we're going to talk about the eastern gray squirrel, which actually is native to Oklahoma. This squirrel is native to Oklahoma, but
This looks like a big mouse.
this squirrel does not live over on this side of the state. They live far eastern, but they are your typical squirrel. Now they're only like 16 to 21 inches long
Yeah.
and 14 to 21 ounces, so roughly a pound. They weigh
Right.
about a pound. Adults typically live about 6 years. Some might live as long as 12 if they're not eaten by a
Or
predator.
if they don't play in traffic.
Right, yeah.
That's what always gets me. They run out, they're like, hey, oh, wait a minute. Nope, nope.
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like squirrels are always like, there's some hiding somewhere and they're going.
They're daring the other
Yeah,
ones.
yeah, I dare you to cross the street, because they'll race out and then they'll race back, or to cross the high line
power line.
wire. Yeah, you know, they're racing across there and stuff like that. Yeah, I always feel like it's squirrel, you know, feats of strength or speed or whatever. They're all daring each other. That's been that's a story
Peer
I play
pressure
in my
in the
mind.
squirrel
Yes,
world.
peer pressure. Yeah. Anyway, unless they're eaten by hawk, owl, bobcat, fox, weasel, feral cat, snake, or human.
All right.
Yeah, and so we're probably gonna talk about that a little bit more later, but they love the bird feeders.
Oh, yes. No, it is kind of cute. I won't deny, it is kind of cute to watch them. Their little hands get up there and, you know, they do that.
Yeah,
But,
chow on the bird
yeah,
seed,
and eat
but
it down
they,
real fast.
you know, they kind of run the birds off.
Yes, they do. Because the birds are going to come around if they're there.
Yeah, and so, you know, it is kind of a nuisance, but their favorite foods, acorns, walnuts, hazelnuts, and they hide them in all different locations. And if you have those little sapling trees growing around in your
A friend of
yard,
mine did. She had to go dig them all up.
Yeah.
Someone had buried them everywhere.
that means you've got squirrel acorns buried in your yard.
That's where his deposits, they were.
And I mean, recently I have been watching squirrels dig up nuts that they hid in my neighbor's yard across the
I
street
didn't know where to go get them.
and come back to my yard and bury them and put them
It's like
in my
cousin
yard.
Amy is hidden money.
I mean, I said, Kevin, I was like to my husband, what are they doing? Why are they moving
They're switching
their
banks. They don't
little
have it.
hidden
I-
treasures there? I don't know. I've
Well,
never,
since the smell must be great in order to be able to
yeah,
something.
I don't know. Yeah, or are they finding some that another squirrel hid?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. But, I mean, obviously they hide way more than they will ever use.
Oh, well, yeah.
I
And
wonder what
hibernation
happens,
and-
like if when the little acorn or whatever germinates and
Mhm.
kind of starts growing, like, do
Leave
they,
it
are
alone.
they, are they uninterested?
Maybe they're trying
in
to
them?
help. Maybe they're
Yeah,
doing it.
maybe they're little Arbor Day supporters. Maybe they're members
They
of
get
the
together and
Arbor
like, all right, boys,
Society.
it's time to go out.
Members of the Arbor Society.
We have taken this way too far today.
Yeah. They really like, in bird feeders, they like to eat seeds, peanuts, sunflower seeds, peanuts, and corn, which,
Pretty much is what's in there.
right? They really like to live in a dense deciduous forest that has mature trees because they produce lots of the
Stuff they
seeds
like
or
to eat.
nuts.
And they can hide in there.
But if push comes to shove, they'll move to town. Suburban, urban, they don't care.
Museum.
Right, yeah. Come live in a museum. I mean, whatever necessity befalls them, they're
Right.
ready to do it. But they are, even though they are native here, they are an invasive species in Europe. How they got to Europe, I mean, I am
It
not
sounds like-
sure.
Like rats infesting something.
Yeah.
I mean, they're part of that
Rodent
yeah.
family. But you know, when we went to Hawaii,
Mhm.
there were no squirrels.
I don't remember seeing squirrels. either.
No squirrels that I saw.
You know,
in
when,
Hawaii.
when we went to Jamaica, I don't remember seeing squirrels either.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't dive
They don't
that
go
deep.
tropical.
Yeah, maybe
They
so.
don't swim.
But yeah, they're hardier and bigger. I don't know if they actually kill the Eurasian red squirrel,
Which is the one that's native there.
but they displace them. So it sounds like,
Bullying.
yeah, it sounds like they force them out or something. I don't know. So
Dig up their
the
nuts
gray
there,
squirrel
too.
is not very welcome over there,
Not very
probably.
neighborly.
And there are a few like mutant or mutated gray squirrels that are born black.
Now, I just like black fur. Like I want a panther. My dog's black. I like the color black.
Mhm.
I think that would be cool.
I
I
do
like the
too.
albino one.
Yeah.
You know, just something that you don't see every day.
Yeah.
As it a pet? No. Say it? Yeah,
Some scientists though believe it's a kind of an adaptation
really.
or a selective advantage for squirrels that live in the north because that black fur will absorb more
Mm.
heat
Keep them warmer.
to keep them warmer.
Yeah.
So I don't know, nature's always
Oh.
about survival of the fittest, seeking a balance,
Right.
move, adapt, or die.
Right.
So,
Yep.
yeah,
All
thank
that.
you, Mr. Patterson, for all those science things.
It
I
stuck
just,
with her.
yeah, it was shot out of my mouth there.
Mhm.
Okay, so as far as this is the area, at least in North America,
Right.
where these gray squirrels
And
live.
that's really cold up in there.
Yeah, so probably, if that is a true
Adaptation.
adaptation, I'm gonna say that they, probably the
Have
majority
more
of
them up there.
black ones live up there, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can see just barely Oklahoma.
Right.
It's the far east in Texas, Kansas there.
Hmm.
But anyway,
Interesting.
yeah. So now,
Yeah, there's the one.
here's the
you
guy
wanna
we're
see.
all accustomed to seeing,
Yep.
the fox squirrel. I did not know that's what he was called, was a fox squirrel.
Kind of has the tail like a fox, I guess,
Yeah.
maybe.
When I was a kid, my dad was working, I don't know if this was like what his job was or just what he was doing that
Mhm.
day, but he was cutting tree limbs or something at Fort Sill,
Mhm.
and he came home with a baby squirrel, and it had lost one of its legs.
Oh, that's
And I don't
sad.
know if it was born that way. I mean,
If it was
he
injured.
didn't do it. It wasn't a
Right.
fresh injury. It was healed, but we So we had a pet squirrel for a while. His name was Peanut.
I was gonna say, what's your name?
Yeah, his name was Peanut. But I mean, I'm always teaching here. It's just not a good idea to have wild animals as
No.
pets.
No.
He just wasn't, I don't know, it just,
Trainable.
yeah, it was, I mean, maybe if I'd spent more time or something, but it seemed like he was really happy when we
They probably
released
like to
him.
run around and
Yeah,
explore and
Yeah,
all that.
and probably, actually, my mom wasn't thrilled with having a rodent running loose in the house, truth be
They
known.
went to live on a farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
But these guys are pretty big. They can be 17 to 27
Bellies.
inches.
They just go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they got plenty to eat.
Yep.
And they weigh 1 to 2 pounds.
So they're quite big, almost
Yeah.
double size.
Yeah, they're really large. Captive, which tells me people
Mhm.
have had them as
Right.
pets. They can live for 18 years,
Mhm.
which is a long
Right. Yeah, you
time,
gotta go do.
right? I know. I mean,
Now, if they're in captivity, they don't hibernate or anything, right?
right.
They'll just.
And I don't think that
adapt
they
to their climate.
hibernate. I don't think
They
they
don't even
really
hibernate.
hibernate. Uh-uh.
Okay,
No, not around here at
it's
least.
not cold enough.
But in the wild, they can live for over 12 years. Females do, males for over 8 years. So squirrels kind of have it. I mean, that's a long time,
Yeah.
unless
There's always a.
they're overhunted. Yum, yum. Or they get mites that have some kind of a disease, severe winter weather, or predators. Yeah. But they are the largest tree squirrel in Oklahoma. They can
They're
adapt.
like little acrobats too. If you ever watch them, they can jump and they
Absolutely.
get on those little tight, thin, narrow spaces and. Oh.
They are constantly like, they'll be out on a tree limb, the
Bouncing.
very skinniest part out there, and it's going like this, and they'll just
Jump.
let go of that thing and land on a roof or shimmy up a tree and jump up on, yeah, they really are.
They really
They're
are.
kind of fun.
It is kind of fun to watch until they start coming in your house
Yeah, destroying
or your
things.
place of work.
But their diet, the fox squirrel eats about the same thing
Yeah,
as the gray
nuts
squirrel,
and
which would
things.
make a lot of sense. They live in the same area.
Right.
They have been introduced, this one is native to Oklahoma also, and they have been introduced to some western and northern states. And they are pressuring the native squirrels in those states, just like the gray squirrel has been doing to
They're just
the
bullies all around,
Eurasian
aren't
red
they?
squirrel. Yeah, they
Man.
really are. So they're, of course, found in neighborhoods, parks, all that, and college campuses,
Right.
like we were talking about.
Sides of roads.
Yeah, they forage on the ground, like I was telling you about the little stinkers moving their acorns from one
Right.
yard across the street to the other. But even though, they run on the ground, we just talked, they are
They're pretty
super
much not
climbers.
anywhere they won't go.
I think we were in New Orleans or somewhere, and there was a squirrel that kept coming really close. We were eating on a picnic. We were eating sitting on the ground eating, and he kept coming closer and closer. And so AJ kept trying to feed him and kind of inch a little closer to him. And that squirrel got a little skittish, and he went to the tree that we were sitting under, and he just started like going around and around that tree trunk, and he'd come around and peek to see if AJ was close, and he'd be trying to give him a piece of bread, and he'd kind of go back the other way. It really was. Yeah, it was cute. It was kind of fun. But anyway, they just kind of always look like
gray,
this.
yeah.
I mean, there's
Kind of a reddish
yeah,
belly.
little variation. There are some other species, I guess, or maybe subspecies or something of the fox squirrel that might have more gray or white or other colors on them. But around here in Oklahoma, this is what they're going to look like.
Right.
Now here, we were talking about them jumping. They can jump 15 feet horizontally. So like when they are, hanging off that tree limb or on a roof,
Right.
if your house is close enough to your neighbors, they could literally jump from one roof to the other.
Right. Yeah. That's just crazy.
Isn't it?
And the wind catches them.
Yeah, yeah,
They gone.
they gone. Yeah. So, if you don't want them in your bird feeders, be sure that you have you put your bird feeder like out in the very middle of the yard. I mean, where are you gonna put it that they can't jump from 15 feet?
I don't know. Are they afraid of water? Just, I don't know if you can put water around it, maybe,
I don't think they're afraid of it. I didn't find anything that said they were swimmers,
right?
but, I mean, they don't require a lot of water for drinking.
Survival, right?
Yeah, so, they are swimmers. We've had them in our swimming
I'd
pool
put it in my
before.
lap, like, can get it.
We've had squirrels in our swimming pool. One died. I guess he couldn't find the ladder.
Well,
I
wasn't
don't
it a
know.
squirrel that was like skiing or something on that
You know
video
what?
that went
Yeah,
viral?
I think you're right. So
Yeah.
they can be trained. They must be
They
intelligent.
like water sports.
They don't necessarily like water, but they do
Right.
like water
Yeah.
sports.
As long as they
Yeah.
can stay up, they're good.
Yeah. So, the gray squirrel and the fox squirrel are just very similar animals except for size.
Right.
They like the same kinds of trees. They like to live in the same type of areas. They
The
make
same thing,
nests
Right.
in old tree trunks that have, not like a giant hole, but kind of
Right.
a smaller hole for
Where
them to
big
crawl
predators can't
into.
really get into. But
Yeah.
they can.
And they'll make a nest of leaves where they'll have their young.
Right.
And so sometimes so where they live is sometimes dependent on this. I thought this was kind of interesting. In Oklahoma, hard mass trees, and that's like a hardwood,
Right.
produce sporadically in a 5 to 7 year cycle. So if it's on the down cycle where they're not producing as much,
Mhm.
then these squirrels are going to be eating other things. And they're
Right.
going to have to be foraging for different
Right.
kinds of food. But on the
What's
up
available.
years, yeah, and so I do remember hearing something about that. Can I remember what that was? So it's like depending on the weather,
Mhm.
like when there's a big freeze and the trees, a lot of trees
Right,
die or
right.
something, the next year, it's more likely that there will be a larger acorn production year from the trees to help replenish
What was
from
not.
yeah, even though it's not like they talk to each other, obviously, it's
Right.
just a natural thing that a hard season or,
They kind of make up for it
yeah,
next
will
year.
reproduce.
I wonder how do they get the nuts and things when it freezes like that? That just eat their stockpile?
I think what they do, let's see, I read something.
Provide alternate food sources.
So they start digging things up typically in the
in
fall
preparation.
and taking them to their nests. So
Okay.
even though they don't hibernate,
Right.
they still
They
kind of,
prepare in case
they
it does
prepare.
get bad.
Yeah.
For bad weather.
yeah.
They take their storm shelter precautions.
People go buy toilet paper and milk, they pack their
They
acorns
do their
away.
own duck procedure there.
Yeah, exactly. But they will, they eat those acorns and bury them, but then they also eat other things that
Right.
they can't bury and save. So isn't that interesting? That their instinct, they know what, can eat this, but I can bury
Right.
this. They don't have to
Doesn't require
go trial and
refrigeration.
error. That's interesting. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah. Which maybe they had an uncle that ate something.
Right. But here we can see the fox squirrel.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Where they
and
live.
they live,
They live
in
pretty
the
much in
same area.
Yeah, because they're just
Uh-huh.
right there.
so evidently they don't force each other out, but they force out other
They
squirrels.
just gang up on everybody
Yeah.
else.
So squirrels consume an average 1.5 pounds of dried the tree mast per week. And it requires 30 to 40 pounds of mast to sustain one squirrel through the breeding season.
Whoa.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, 1.5 pounds a week doesn't sound like much, but 30 to 40 pounds, I don't know
And they
what.
only weigh a pound, to
Yeah,
2 pounds.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of a lot of
Yeah.
food, really. Here's the thing, they drink freestanding water but available water is attractive to squirrels. It's not a limiting factor. So if there's not any water, that doesn't mean they're not going to go to a place.
Right.
They can get most of their water from the vegetation they eat. So they don't really have to have a
Right.
place to
Actual
drink.
liquid.
Yeah. And there's been some like, you know, they'll put a little radio thing on a squirrel or whatever and follow them around. And they found like
Like a
maybe
tracker?
like they have like 9 different locations where they might.
Really? How
Live.
far? I wonder.
Well, I did see, so the home
Oh,
range
20 acres.
for a fox or gray squirrel can span from 1 to 20 acres. Yeah, so, I mean, that's a pretty good,
Right.
span, yeah.
Get different things
Yeah.
from there.
And squirrel hunting,
Oh.
yeah, is a great way to introduce, especially young kids to the woods, and you can shoot a
Hunting
small
procedures.
caliber rifle or air guns and be, you know, work on your shooting expertise and stuff like that. So squirrel season for the fox and the gray squirrel. This year, it's about to start. Get your
We're
guns
gearing
out,
up, boys
get them
and
clean,
girls.
get them clean.
Get your stockpile
Yeah.
ready too.
Yeah, it starts May 15th and goes until January 31st.
That's a long season.
Mhm.
Of course, they're everywhere, so.
Yeah.
You see it, shoot it.
And it is statewide. You have a daily limit though. Yeah, 25 fox and or gray squirrels combined in one day. You can have as many as 50 in your possession on the first day of the season.
So you just like put them on a stick?
I don't know.
Like
And
fish?
there's not a stringer. I don't think you put them on a stringer like you do fish. I don't know. 1/2 hour before official sunrise till sunset. So you hunt during the day.
Daytime.
Mhm. So these squirrels must be diurnal. They must
Right.
be active during the day and sleep at night.
Which is what us humans are.
That's right, yeah. So I found this great picture.
Oh, look, they're on a stick. They're all lined up.
Okay, yeah, it was a good hunting day.
Those are some big squirrels.
They kind of have them like spooning each other on this little thing where they have them. Yeah, they are big.
Look at those feet.
Mhm.
They look like little, like wires. or
Their
something.
feet are kind of,
Rodent.
yeah, and super
Yeah,
long.
that picture you had out earlier, just like fur coming
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. So what would you do with some fox and gray squirrel if you shot them? I'm glad you asked. I decided to go to Pinterest, which is my favorite place to find
And that's where you
recipes.
caught us here. To
Yeah.
Start the show.
They have lots and lots of recipes. You know, deep fried Kentucky fried squirrel with gravy. There's like some that you would just cook out on a spit, maybe, or on your grill.
Right.
Just, I think
I think
bone
there's some
in.
preparation involved.
Yeah, I think bone in is the preferred method, and then you just eat them off the bone. That way the meat is just kind of, you know, it holds its shape, and you can just
And the
go
shape
after
is
it like you
hideous.
do. I'm pretty
rib.
sure it tastes like chicken. There are slow cooker recipes, there are Instant Pot recipes, easy recipes, more complicated, like,
Stew.
yeah, like maybe the Jamaican jerk squirrel, if you're looking to try, you know, to jazz it up a little. There are,
Into your life.
yeah, Cajun squirrel with dirty rice. Here's a squirrel pie.
Oh my gosh, you know, like a meat pie that was
Yeah.
squirrel.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, don't
Play around with it. Let us know what
Yeah,
you like.
let us know what your favorite squirrel
We
recipe
will not be
is,
tasting it.
because we're very interested. I've been trying to find out from the ladies around here, and no one
It's the
no one
wrong
really
audience
has a
to-
favorite.
Yeah, it's the wrong audience to take the
Yeah.
vote of.
So anyway, yeah, you don't just, you know, don't just hunt them. You know, use that meat. Be resourceful, please.
Give it to your dogs or something. Please don't eat it.
Okay,
Oh, man.
now we're gonna talk about this guy, the southern flying squirrel.
I mean, it's cool. It kind of looks like a pelt with feet.
Yeah, it does. The skin has a special name. So these are only like 8 to 10 inches in length, and they weigh 2 or 3 ounces.
Teeny,
They
teeny,
are
tiny.
tiny,
Yeah.
tiny little,
I probably have
um,
dust bunnies in my house that weigh
yeah.
more than that.
on average, they live just a few years. I mean, they're lucky if they live for 5 years.
They're quite
Because,
fragile.
Predators get them, but these are not hunted for meat. I'm sure they're
Probably
too
no meat.
small. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, they gotta be pretty lean. I mean, their tails aren't even like
Weird.
big and bushy. You couldn't even make yourself a cool, like squirrel something with their tails, so.
A shawl.
Yeah, make a nice thing for your hat. I don't know, that, I feel like there's a lot you could do with some squirrel pelts.
You can make a puff thing for your
I
keychain.
am,
Look at their feet though.
I have tried so hard to be serious. Yeah, they have this white belly and look at they have like real
Huge eyes.
bulging eyeballs. Now,
To see you with.
I need to point something out. Even though they are called flying squirrels, they are not true flyers. The bat is the only mammal that can actually
Kind of
fly.
glides, right?
Yeah, they glide. Anyway, they are nocturnal and usually stay in like heavily canopied forests.
Mhm.
So
They're more
it's
protected.
not very common to see these little guys. In fact, I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not know flying squirrels lived in Oklahoma.
I think, didn't some people used to have them as pets? Or flying, there's a flying something people had.
Yes.
Flying monkey?
No,
Flying squirrel?
no.
Flying monkey. We're
Right off the Wizard of Oz.
That's right, we're off.
Oh, some friends of my kids had some, they were tiny little
Mhm,
rodent
and they
things.
fly.
They looked
They're
a
called
lot
a
like
flying
this.
something.
I'm gonna have to try to remember what that was, but anyway, they're very social and they're often observed foraging, gliding and resting together in large groups of like up to 20 of them.
That's not Charles.
Yeah. They just like, yeah.
Y'all back in town?
Anyway, okay, so they have a broad flat tail. Their tail is
Yeah.
flat. It's not,
Right.
honestly,
Not
I
fluffy.
don't, yeah, I'm wondering why they're called squirrels. Like, what is it that designates them as a
To me, it looks more
squirrel?
like a flying mouse.
Yeah, yeah, and with these big rat-like, well, no, rat's eyes are smaller, kind of like
Their
that.
ears and the whiskers and
I don't know, it's weird. And this is called patagium or patagium. This
Oh, that
skin
special
that
skin there.
it's attached to their wrist. And I'm like wondering, I mean, it's just like this little ruffled,
Slide it on.
yeah, it's just like this little ruffled thing. I guess it kind of retracts a little, not like retracts, but I don't know, it just kind of
That
comes,
like,
yeah. Like, yeah, like a car door that
lands,
comes
he's like,
down. I don't know. Anyway, when they are born, they are blind, naked, and helpless.
I wonder if they don't survive very
Like
long.
a
How long does it
naked
take them
mole
to
rat
get
or something.
able to survive?
They have 2 litters a year, one in early spring, one in midsummer.
Hmm.
So I don't know. They don't hibernate. They stay in the nest as for bad weather. But I mean, mammals, owls, cats, everybody likes a good
They
flying
can
squirrel.
glide as far as the football field length.
That's a long way.
Yeah, it's like a parachute
Mhm.
coming in
I think that'd be fun. Man, I almost said
Yeah,
the
put
name
them
of
on
those little
parachuters.
things.
on them and drop them in
Oh,
a football
yeah.
game.
You know what? This actually looks like, have you seen those people who like
Yes,
dive off
they
of
do.
cliffs?
They're called base jumpers or something,
Yeah,
aren't they?
they have, their suit looks like a flying squirrel's
Yeah, it is.
patagium. Yeah, that's funny. I hadn't thought about that. Okay,
You can
these,
do that, you can make a suit from that.
yes,
It'd be authentic.
an authentic squirrel suit. Okay, these guys cause a lot of damage. First I'm going to show you where they live. So they're going to be more in the eastern part of Oklahoma. Yeah, and then randomly down there in Mexico.
Maybe they're trying to make their way down.
Huh. Anyway,
Still about the same
they can
areas.
crawl through a hole the size of a quarter
It's like
and
mice, they can
get
just do it.
into like the walls of your house. They chew up things, they chew up wires, walls, wall board. They're kind of
Destructive.
yeah, they really are. And they have been known to like mess with bark on trees, dig holes, raid bird feeders. they talk about controlling them and controlling and trapping squirrels. I mean, this is
Oh,
definitely something. Here, looks like a fox squirrel. Here's your little flying squirrel. I'm sure that there are, we really did have somebody come and help us
Yeah,
trap.
we did. Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
traps up there. I think
Uh-huh.
it'll let them come out, but they can't get back in.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you have a squirrel problem, it's common. And especially like we
More
were
and
saying,
more.
how big the population
Right.
is right now.
I just keep them in ballpark. Control the squirrel.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a spade or neuter, your
Get your squirrel spayed or neutered.
yeah. But you can, there are ways that they trap even these flying ones.
Probably just lure them in with the food they like. Or
Yeah,
something.
probably. They chew up siding under the eaves. I mean,
They're coming for your house. is what it
dormer
sounds
and
like.
louver vents, construction gaps,
Mhm.
chimneys, soffits. I mean, they will get anywhere in your house.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, and of course, you know how they, honestly, okay, one time, all just in the middle of the day, there was this massive loud pop and my electricity went out.
Mhm.
And I found out later a squirrel had gotten into the transformer. I missed out on getting a little taste of some quick fried squirrel.
Dinner served.
Yeah, so I mean, that is a thing. They do that.
Yeah.
They get into stuff. I mean, they're kind of pests, but you know, if you want to just enjoy the show, sit in your yard or go to a park and they're gonna be running
Make sure they
around.
don't come back.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway,
I mean, yeah, there's
that's
some of them are really cute,
right.
but cute, and then you get the destructive on top of it. you know.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, squirrels are alive and well here in Oklahoma. I mean, we see them everywhere, but for
Unless-
real, y'all, share your recipes with
Unless
us.
we have a big influx of squirrel recipes.
Right.
And
We can't wait.
people hitting Homeland Walmart. We saw Trail Talk where we get them squirrels.
Right? Yeah. You're gonna have to go hunt them. I don't think
And
they
please do
sell
not
them
bring your recipe up
in
here.
the produce. Yeah, just email. I mean, like, yeah,
A
send it to our website, our
We'll,
Facebook
we'll look at
page.
the pictures, look at the recipe, but we will not taste. I have a squirrel allergy.
I might taste it.
She's more
I might
free
do that,
spirited in
yeah.
that area than I am.
But anyway, in all seriousness, for those of you who like to eat squirrel,
Yeah, I mean,
we are
there's
glad
nothing
that
wrong
you
with
do
it.
because that means
They're
they're
helping
not,
us out.
yeah, for real,
Yeah.
for real. So, oh
What's
man,
tomorrow?
I've gone blank on,
We have OHCE,
yeah, do you remember what that stands for?
Oklahoma
Home,
Home Educator.
something, oh,
We are so
I am
sorry.
so bad.
Guys, we've had a really, it's been a day.
Yeah, so Sandy Pogue from, who is actually the president of the Oklahoma chapter of the Oklahoma Home and Community Education group, incorporated, it's incorporated. Anyway, it is going to be here as our guest and talk
Tomorrow.
about all the cool things they do.
Right.
She's gonna be our guest on Trail Talk. She's from Velma.
Hey,
She's, yeah,
local
right down
gal.
here, local and state president. So I'm very excited. I'm gonna ask her if she has any good squirrel recipes to share with us. Just, I mean, she might.
Hey, it may taste really good. We
Liz,
don't
I-
know, you
It has
know?
a distinctive taste to it.
I just
Tina's-
imagine.
I think Tina's had squirrel.
Yeah.
No.
What about the
Oh,
texture?
She's speaking like a,
Mm,
oh, you
no.
looked it up?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Some pork, some chicken, just depends.
Oh, pork, chicken, there's
Yeah.
lots of, probably depends on how you season. I mean, if you're going Cajun or jerk,
Mhm.
Jamaican jerk, you know, or, you know,
Okay.
with beans, or you're gonna deep fry it,
Mhm.
can, yeah,
Mhm.
Like
on the
canned,
spit.
like
I don't
canned.
know, there seems like a lot of different things you can do.
You can even mix it up.
Yeah,
Have a chicken
anyway,
pork.
be sure and join us tomorrow, because I used to, when, I don't know if the OHCE ladies still do this or not, but they used to be the ones who cooked all the pies that they would serve at the county
Oh,
fair,
yeah,
not the concession,
In
but
the,
the eating
that building.
place.
right.
And man, I used to go and chow on delicious
Oh.
pie.
It was Oh,
Yeah, it was the best. So, anyway, be sure and watch Sandy tomorrow. Thank you
And
for,
Edie,
yeah, and me, and thank you for putting up with all of our
I know.
squirrel
We have to be kind of
craziness
squirrely here.
today.
on the
Yeah, we're a
squirrel
little
episode.
squirrely today. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy
Happy
trails.
trails.